Celebrity Apprentice, my friend. Celebrity Apprentice. You had 2 shows last night, made it through one, and then what everybody is telling me was the highlight of the year. Old Chael P kind of got a little gangster.
So it's all in the edit. Anybody that will do any form of reality TV, and we saw this on The Ultimate Fighter. We saw some coaches come through there. Ken Shamrock comes to mind, was so upset. He's going, man, that's just not how it happened. It was edited. And I can't really speak on their experiences. I can only speak on mine. This is my 3rd experience in reality TV. Did a couple of Ultimate Fighters in this one, and I don't know anything about that really. It's what do you mean it's in the edit? You either did it or you didn't. Sure, it gets cut and it gets edited, but you either did it or you didn't. And so we filmed this thing 1 year ago. It was supposed to come out right away. Now, right away in that world kind of means about a 5-month turnaround. So we did it last February, end of January and very beginning of February. So a year ago, it was supposed to come out in the summer. The election took so much media and news and hype that everyone's just going, man, we don't want to compete with this. Let's just wait till the election's over. So it ended up getting postponed a year. And I sat on that for a year, and, everybody goes in with a strategy. All of the good players, at least. There were a couple people with no strategy. But essentially, everybody comes in with a strategy. And my strategy, from being a fan of the show, from watching it, first off, you want to win the show. It's a competition. But secondly, the next payoff is to stick around. It is a major media and exposure opportunity. And if you get fired, boom, that comes to an end. So you want to stick around. I'd studied some other contestants. Pierce Morgan comes to mind. Omarosa, quite frankly, comes to mind. And she was a disaster, but she was such a charming character that it did allow her to stick around. So my strategy was to go in and be the heel. And in the edit of the show, it really got lost. I kind of looked just like a normal contestant, but I wasn't a normal contestant. I was the heel of the show. I would do every lying, cheating, dirty, offensive thing you could every week. I mean, I never missed a beat.
You're the heel.
Yeah, but they would edit it to where I just looked like a regular guy that was going through the process. Now, I was being an evil, dirty, rotten heel as a strategy. This is my strategy to keep around. And then I'm going to make my moves as we get closer, and that's how I'm going to win this. But this is what I go in with. And I'm giving them the goods. I mean, I'm doing it, and it's working. Even though it got edited out, I had pulled plenty of shenanigans that, the producers are going to like, in my mind. And it's a good way to stay around. So at any rate, to bring it to this show, so everything that you see is really happening. Now, it used to be a reality show. And what I mean by that is, I don't know if you followed the early seasons. I happened to be a fan. I actually did well. I didn't have to go back and do my homework. I watched them from season 1. And where it was reality was they really brought people in, and it really was a job interview. They put them through different tasks. They brought them in the boardroom, and they fired them. But at the end, whoever won literally then went and worked for Donald Trump. They went to Trump Tower. They were given assignments. He mentored them. They collected a paycheck. I mean, it was a real job. So now, when you have the Celebrity Apprentice, it's just a ratings thing. We're playing a game, and we're after ratings. I was trying to get other contestants to go along with me, trying to get them to understand, hey, let's create something here. Let's get a little wild. Let's get outside the box. This isn't real. This is about ratings. Let's have some fun. We're playing a game. And I was very cognizant the whole time that this is just a game. And everybody was so image conscious. They were all so worried. And I get that. It's just, I haven't ran my career that way. I've always been the heel, the one that you tune in to hate, to watch get fired, to hope gets beat up, to hope whatever the situation might be. So it's a little bit easier for me. So we get in this situation, and I'm just trying to paint for you that it is extremely real what you see on TV, in that we are given tasks. We are given a time frame, and we are giving X amount of resources. That's what the game is. Whether the budget is $5,000 and the time is 12 hours, whatever it may be, then anything you see on there, we've done. If you're watching a show of The Apprentice and we're sitting in a chair, we brought that chair in. If you see a flower bouquet in the background, we ordered that, put the vase and put the flowers in. There's nothing. They give you an empty room every time, a $5,000 budget, an X amount. So anything that happens, you really have to create. So we're hustling. It's fun. It's really fun, but we're hustling. So on this show that you're talking about, we are going to lose due to the time restraint. We had to be done at 7 p.m. At 6:50, we're not done and we're not even close. So we have to stop the clock. We have to find a way to stall this out. Now, you always are given time, even though it's a hard 7 o'clock, the end. Well, not so fast. I mean, you are making a TV show. The show must go on. And if there was ever a technical difficulty and there was all sorts of computers that you needed and editors that you needed, and there was a lot of things that you counted on that were outside of your control. If there was ever an issue with any of that kind of stuff, boom, your clock stops till you get it fixed. So I went and created a technical difficulty by cutting the cord to the printer, and we had to print some stuff off. Now, the edit saved me. The edit made this look really, really cute and funny. But I'll share with you what had really happened. So I decided, okay, I'm going to cut this cord, create a technical issue, get us the time that we need. And when I put this plan together, I see a pair of scissors. I see the cord. Okay, plan's hatched. Here's how we're going to do it. I put the scissors underneath I've got a long sleeve on, put them underneath the sleeve. I bend down to cut the cord, and then I'm going to slide the scissors underneath essentially the shelf that the computer, the printer rather, is sitting on. No one's going to be the wiser. I'm going to go to print something a few minutes later. Hey, this won't print. Why? Oh my God, I think it's because this cord's not connected. Real simple, right? And that's kind of how they made it look. Well, Joel, it wasn't like that. I bend down, I execute the plan. I swear to goodness, this was like the power grid or something of all of NBC Universal. 3 overhead cans blow. They blow. There's sparks everywhere. Whatever I cut, sparks, it blows in my face, and it shocks me. So when I finally come to, I think less than a millisecond has gone by in real time, but for me, it might as well have been a day. I don't even know where I dropped the scissors, and I'm out of it. I dropped the scissors, and I'm stunned. Well, I had pulled this off so well that even though we've got 4 cameras in the room, no one saw it happen. No, I bent down. Everything just right until I get zapped. This cord is powerful. So it works. We get our extra time, and I'm the hero. The whole team, I've saved the day. And every time you would go into the boardroom, you don't want to get fired. That's embarrassing. You're getting fired, and getting fired anywhere in life is embarrassing. It's like getting broken up with. It's an embarrassing thing. It's usually done in private, right?
Now you've got to be thinking, I either made the best move or I'm getting whacked. Did you know when you?
Okay, so here's exactly where I was going. So my mindset was that I did a great move. This was really smart. This is really creative, and I have now saved the project for our team. I'm the hero.
As he is telling us this story, he looks like a little kid that's pretty excited. He's got a little shine in his eyes right now.
You got to understand too. You're making TV, right? You're collecting a paycheck. You don't make very much for doing this Celebrity Apprentice. You might think you do. You don't. But I'm a company guy. If somebody's paying me, I'm going to do the best job I can for them. Period. So I was doing things like this and giving it to NBC the entire time, and they weren't really into it, which I didn't know. When the show came out, again, I just looked like a regular guy that goes, but I wasn't. I was the straight up heel. Everyone hated. I was doing it right. I was doing it exactly as I had planned strategically to stick around, from characters that I'd studied before that influenced me. I mentioned Omarosa a little bit ago. So I'm going as planned, and when you go into the boardroom, one, it's embarrassing to get fired on TV, and two, but you're competing. If you get fired, it brings you to an end. And then 3, the other side of it is it does end your tenure on the show, and there's great exposure, which you can go and parlay into different things. Some people have written books or sold things, or take me, I'm still fighting, so it's good for pay-per-views, or in this case with Bellator, TV ratings. There's things you can do with that exposure, so you want to stick around. Every time I went to the boardroom, we would line up ahead of time, off camera, walk into the set, and everybody was silent. Everybody was nervous and playing through what they're going to say and how they're going to fight and how they're going to keep themselves around. This is the one time when I knew I'm good. I saved the day. Old Chael pulled through. You know, I'm representing my project manager, who in this case is Carson Kressley, who is a great guy, by the way. Great. I could tell you a whole podcast about it. We got to have Carson on sometime. You will love Carson. Carson worked for who are you texting, man? Carson worked for Ralph Lauren for 11 years, the designer, as his right-hand man, as his assistant. Ralph Lauren trained Carson. So Carson was a special talent. So anyway, it's his task. And I sent him a text during the show. We got cameras on us. I texted him during the show, if you need more time, touch my leg. So he gets the text, he sees it, and boom, his hand comes slamming down on my knee. And he plays it off like he's just, like it just but he was responding to my message. So boom, I go into work, I cut the cord, I get us the time we need. So I know when we get to the boardroom, I'm protected. I looked out for my guy. I saved the task for everybody. I'm protected. Well, wrong. Somewhere between that happening and the boardroom, Carson, and this was real, this was not for TV, he thought twice about it. And he goes, hey, if we were going to run out of time, and the rules say if you run out of time, you lose, then we should have lost.
And you wouldn't even have been on the chopping block.
In my mind, I'm not even going to be on the chopping block because I protected our project manager. I saved the project. I got us the time we needed, and we finished. Now we have a fighting chance, but we only have a fighting chance because of me.
Who's on the chopping block if you don't cut the cord?
Well, Carson will automatically be. He was the project manager, so the losing team, the manager automatically goes in, but then he picks who comes in with him. So I know he's not going to pick me because I've saved the day. I'm the hero.
Well, let's look at this. Let's act like you didn't cut the cord. Who do you think he would have put up there?
Well, let's see. We were down to Lisa, Portia, and myself, so he would have had to bring two of the three of us in. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, three people. Do you watch the show? It's okay if you don't.
It was a calculated. Well, we've been at practice.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if
I watched last night.
Okay, so you saw last night. So yeah, three people go in the boardroom. Our team had 4. I think the other team had 5. They might have also had 4. But the point is, everyone's going but one. You can only let one go. So when I go into the boardroom, I know, and this is the only time I know. I mean, every time everybody's nervous. Again, when we all line up, you can see it on everybody's face. Nobody knows who's going. No one knows what the governor's thinking. Nobody knows who won the project. Whoever wins that whole team is safe. So everybody's a little bit on edge, but I know I've saved the day here. Chael's the hero of this story. And don't forget, cutting of the cord is now in hindsight, yeah, you got to go. You cut the cord, you got to go. But it's hindsight. At the time, I had pulled 20 other stunts like this. They got edited, it didn't get used, but I'm giving them the good should they want to have it. So this isn't all that big of a deal in my day for the performance that I had put on throughout this game. So now take the cameras away, go back to real life. In real life, Carson thought about it after hours, after we were done. He told me the story. He said, yeah, I was in the bathtub, and I was just thinking about it. I just got riddled with guilt. We should have lost. He said, you sent me that text message. I touched your leg. I never in a million years thought you were going to cut a cord that was, well, yeah, Carson, I'm a knockaround guy. I'm the kind of guy that you want on your team that's going to go and do the heavy lifting when it needs to be done.
That's like you tapping me.
Sure.
You know shit's going to jump off.
Hey, Joel, we got to roll. Yeah, it's just that whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But so he told me, he goes, no, man, I got to bring this up. I mean, he was real straight with me. Carson was cool, man. We should have had Carson on today. Really great guy. And he plays a character though too. If you've seen it, Carson's a gay man. He plays into the gay, constantly. He did a show called Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. So he constantly plays that character, but it is a character. He just sit and visit with you. You love him. We will have him on sometime, and you will love him. But he does level with me straight up. We're in the bathroom, so the cameras aren't in there, and he pulls me in. And he goes, "Look, I got to bring this up. This is bugging me. And then whatever happens, happens. But I can't let this just go under the radar. This is my task, and I wasn't done on time. And if I got to take a bullet or you got to I got to bring this up." So now I'm sweating it. Now I'm going, okay, well, this isn't good. You know, if you do bring this up, this isn't going to be great. Now I'm going to fight, and I am going to argue, and I believe at the time successfully. I'm going to make the argument that I sacrificed a 30-cent cord for the good of our project. That I found in the rules, if there's a technical issue, you get more time. I created a technical issue. Good for me.
Good for you.
I saved the day. Great move. So Carson brings it up. Now, it is a bit of a popularity contest, too. The governor will flat out ask everybody, who do you think should be fired? In this case, if there's 4 people, and there's 4 people, if all 3 say, Chael, fire Chael, it's hard for him to find a reason why not to. It's kind of hard for him to go, well, everybody's saying it's you, and everybody was there. I asked them all their opinion. I got to evaluate at some point. So that's exactly what happened. They all piled on, and I'm sitting there going, well, yeah, I don't have a huge defense. What you think happened. I cut the cord. I created a technical issue. It worked. We got the time that we needed. We finished the project, and here we are to present it. Well, that didn't work. Governor didn't see it that way. He's like, you got to go. So I had to get up and go. But it was great, you know. And then so I see Carson after that. So when this whole thing's done, they go back to what's called the war room, which just means that's the food. They got food and drink in there after the contest. You watch the show and see what happens on the boardroom. And then whoever doesn't get fired, the 2 people that don't, come back in, and everybody gets surprised with, okay, you 2 are here, so now we know who's gone. After all of that, once you're fired, you go to a separate room, and that's where you do your post-interview. So that's where I am. I'm not with them. Now, when we all get done, we go get in the vans to go back to the hotel. So they put me in a van by myself, and I'm going to go back to the hotel. And I see the other vans where Carson and the other guys were. I'm like, no, I'm not going in this van by myself. I'm going in that van. This is my last time to see these guys. So I open the door to the van, and there's Carson. And he thinks I'm going to kill him. I mean, he thought he thought he saw a ghost. Like, whoa, what's he doing here? And I just put my hand out and smiled. I said, great job. I didn't see that coming. You know, you saw there was a weakness. There's a potential here. You're going to be on the chopping block. Somebody's got to go home. You conspired. You figured it out. Great job. That was really smart. I didn't see it coming. And, I mean, his whole expression changed. Then that's where he told me. He goes, I thought you were going to pull me out of this van. I go, Cars, it's a game. We're playing a game. I would have stabbed you in the back in there had I not got sent home.
In a heartbeat. Yeah,
somebody's going home. I would have chopped your head off the first chance I had. And he's like, thanks so much. And he goes, well, you know, I went to your Twitter, and you've got an avatar that says the bad guy. And he goes, this is very on brand. Ralph Lauren would love this. This is very on brand for what you do. I'm like, yes, Cars, we're good, man. This isn't an act. I'm done. The cameras are off. Good job. So he and I have stayed friends, and he really was a great dude. I thought that he would have major promise in this process, and still do. And you have to understand, I don't know who wins this. When you get fired, the way they show it is that you get in a helicopter and you get flown off. That's close to real. You do get in a hell, and you are gone the next day. So I am not privy to anything that happens after this very moment. I can tell you anything we've talked about, and I'm free to discuss it contractually outside of my contract. Not only do I not know, I could guess, but I wouldn't be privy to talk about it. But I will tell you, if Carson wins this whole thing, it would not surprise me. In fact, if Carson gets beat, I will be very surprised who beats him. He's a very impressive player. Other people, like myself, we could be smart or successful. I mean, you can say anything you want, but I had a different strategy to stick around. He's sticking around through his wits, through his hard work, his determination. He's also a very a clever guy. I don't know if you saw the motorcycle challenge. He got naked and sat on this motor. He did a bunch of stuff that was very risky and very outside the box that really exposed himself, where he would have been fired had he got it wrong, but he didn't get it wrong. He got it right. He's an impressive guy. I will be surprised in many ways if Carson doesn't win this.